Okay, so to round out our two-day summit, I would like to invite Stephanie Rogers, who's going to moderate a session with my co-organizers, Harris Iyer and David Gao.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, a tremendous opportunity. Last session, wrap-up session for us today here with a very distinguished group of individuals. So we'll start with one word to summarize the last 2 days from each of you, and then we'll get some wrap-up reflections. So, you want to go first? Yes.
Energy. I think we brought in this brain economy, brain health.
Oh, your mic. There you go.
Oh, sorry, I'm sitting on. I said energy because I think the crowd here, all the participants here showed how much energy we have to move this forward.
Yeah, I'll say one thing about the crowd that's still here. You all deserve extra bonus points. Been a big, full 2 days. Wonderful to still see you here. My big word today is inspiration. I was inspired by the energy in this room.
For me, it's exhilarated because it demonstrates it's been exciting, but also very tiring, like when you're exhilarated from some big adventure. So it's just awesome.
Great. So energy, inspiration, exhilaration, all active, active words. All right. So if we step back and reflect on the last 2 days, I think it would be great to get your perspectives on things that you found new or different, or things that surprised you, and some of the biggest takeaways while you're decompressing. And like Harris said, a lot of information, but a lot of really great information.
Okay, I can start there. For me, not being from the field, I thought the biggest surprise was Hussein Imanji yesterday, his talk, where he connected the dots between mental health and neurodegenerative diseases. And I did not think that they were that linked, but I think that really means that as this conversation goes about brain capital, we have to keep all of those things in mind.
Oh, well, that's a great point because it does underscore the need to work proactively earlier in life to prevent those neurodegenerative diseases, and mental health being a part of that. For me, one of the great takeaways of this conference was affirmation for a place-based initiative, for the need to have a critical mass of entities come together in one community, which is now Houston. And you could feel it in the room. There's been all this great global conversation, incredible insights and thoughts that have come in from the global arena now into Houston, and to have everyone here in the room and to tap into this latent interest or latent need and have it surface here through this conversation was really inspiring to me.
Yeah, for me, the realness of this summit has struck me, and talking to some people about their reflections of how it's changed since last year. It's much more, last year was great, but this year it's much more real. We have more action, more projects, more tangibility, whether it's place, whether it's science, finance that's happening globally. We all can hold on to some part of this canvas of the brain economy now in some way, whether it's in Houston or whether it's in West Palm Beach, in Florida. So the realness is great, but we've got to keep going. We've got to really keep demonstrating more realness, which ultimately gets to touching people's lives, which we still got to do better.
Yeah. I think the aspects as well that all three of you have shared in some of the other conversations around the power of sharing the story. To your point, some of it's individual and it's very personal, some of it's systemic and what's happening across different corporations, organizations, across the governments, across education. It's all connected. And that storytelling and sharing of that message is really powerful here. And it's also, driving a systematic wave of how you can communicate, not just in Houston, but globally. What about going forward? So you mentioned the conference last year, and when you think about, the next couple of months and even the next year, where's your head go for, what we can expect and how we think about how we can drive value together? What's important? What are you thinking about?
I think, I have another sort of segue point there first, which is, I think the summit shows that a lot of people who would normally not be in a room together came here. Scientists, academics, policymakers, funders of all kind. They usually don't come together, especially for such a hard topic, together. So it tells us that the idea that I have to give credit to Harris and George Weidenberg and others, that they started so many years back. George, thank you. That you guys launched this many, many years ago and have been pushing forward. Now it has gained momentum, and it's not just an idea anymore, And we can see this with the density of people, the energy we had in the room, the types of people we are here. So I think we have a movement, and that has staying power, that now we can actually accomplish something. So I look forward to that.
Yeah, this conference in my head has made me want to really double down on the work we're doing with Project Metis. We've got these 7 working teams. We've now announced an 8th working team. And what we really need to do is take the efforts of those teams, implement them, and turn them into real impact and outcomes. And I can see the path forward on most of those teams on how to get that done. And it will be really exciting. You talk about coming together maybe next year, but certainly there'll be conferences in between. There'll be some real proof points and markers we can show. And I think that's going to be vital to our progress as we can share the story in other marketplaces.
Yeah, I echo the point about proof points, data, fund flows, lives touched. We need to do that. But for me, is my mic really loud, or is it?
It's just late in the day for you.
Yeah, it's just it feels really loud. Tangibly, the cadence of events. I'd say follow the Global Brain Economy Initiative, which is this sort of the global entity that coordinates the brain economy. We have an event coming up in Barcelona in a couple of weeks, which RIM will be leading in the context of a major European neuroscience summit. We have in New York in late September brain economy activities on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. We have in October a brain economy summit in New Orleans. In November, we'll be doing something in West Palm Beach, Florida, and then in January in Davos in Switzerland at the sidelines of the World Economic Forum and with the World Economic Forum. And so this is a way of keeping the cadence going, keeping the energy, showcasing Houston globally, but then also using Houston to try to catalyze other places so we have more friends in other places. And so these are all inclusive platforms, and anyone is welcome.
I might add, I'm excited for the Catalyte documentary. Will sort of take us from Davos to Davos and all the steps along the way, and really highlight the great vision that you've cast and see it turn into reality. And I think that's going to be an exciting and compelling video to be coming soon to a theater near you.
And I'm going to add one more point to that, again, the positivity. I think Murli Gopalakrishnan from Teva mentioned that in his remarks. As you look at people trying to make solutions for these very hard problems, a few years ago, nobody would have even thought about or touched those, especially funders or pharma or tech companies. And Murli talked about how CNS is, again, the new fun or cool project everybody's getting into. Pharma is not afraid of CNS. So that's on the therapeutic side. Louisa mentioned the same thing. And then from the tech side, Cognito, Christian, this is, running a 700-person trial and showing clinical outcomes. That is just remarkable. I mean, a few years ago, who would have thought, right? So I think I see a lot of positives.
Can I jump onto that? Because I think it was you who said this, but a moonshot vision, a world without dementia.
Yeah,
Wow, that would be really tremendous.
amazing, amazing.
And maybe one last question. What about the human adoption, and what do I mean by that? So there's so much, you were just saying, there's a lot of trials, ideas, data, research that's coming into the periphery. What else can we be doing, right, to help each other to cascade some of the adoption of some of these practices, ideas, ways that we can improve? How can we help drive the adoption of that across the mainstream of the population? That's been a question I've heard in a lot of the different conversations as well.
I'm going to.
Yeah, Harris?
Well, a wonderful company will and is profiling Project Metis, which is you generously, Stephanie, and Accenture, which we're very grateful for, to tell this, to give the template about how this can help people and profile Metis and tell the story. But interesting, like, we should all think about clinical care reform. What can we do as health professionals to help patients better and differently and more? What can we do as scientists to accelerate our work to get to people? All these technical things that we've heard about in the last couple of days, but I think as a father of 2 young kids, about what do we do as a brain economy family, which is very nerdy, but you start to think about what is a brain economy family. It means getting your health checks and talking about brain health literacy, brain health like, you're brushing your teeth kind of thing. So I think about maybe the family is a cool way to do this and to help people, and for us all to think about what are we doing at home.
To be sure, yeah, there's a lot of work to educate the population to be more mindful, to think more about brain health as they do about physical fitness, and that's a real opportunity. I do feel grateful. Accenture has done some amazing work. I'm so grateful, Stephanie, to you and the team, Brad and Krista, to help us to frame that story. It's still a work in progress. We now have a website, braincapitalhtx.com you can go to, and there'll be stories there that are intended not for the medical insider community, but for the general population to become more brain savvy, more brain aware. And that positioning and that kind of campaign, I think, is work I'm excited to continue to work with Accenture and find good ways to turn the mood on this. It's interesting. If you look back in time, there have been some longstanding behavioral elements in our society that have changed. People now wear seatbelts. They don't litter on the side of the road the way they used to. There are campaigns that have made people change their day in and day out behaviors. And this is the kind of task we have ahead of us, but I think it's the right task to work on.
And I think one other piece we can keep in mind is this is something, we heard through the conversations during this summit. I think JR mentioned it, the TMC Rice innovator. He mentioned that, what we need to get to are small successes. So with AI and tech solutions, if we are able to show some improvements in upskilling, some improvements in some condition that people have, or like remember when from Chad, if it is able to reduce the decline, mental decline in elderly population, all of those successes add on, and then people will start realizing that some of the technologies can be positive. Not everything is going to be positive. Not everything is good, but there are technologies that are needed today that we need to sort of utilize to make an impact. And those successes are going to be very impactful.
Yeah, I think that's well said. Again, one of the other common pieces was AI does many beautiful things and has many opportunities that it does provide around efficiency, productivity of the future, but it's a nice complement and an and where the real value comes from not just the use of AI in the implementation, but from humans that are using it. And if you're complementing that with a healthy brain, you're able to make better decisions. You're able to better interact with people that bring you to do new types of services and new ways of working. It's really a beautiful and if you can complement both those things. So that's a related point. Well, what do you think? Any other key remarks from the three of you for the end of the session? Anything else on your mind that you want to share to the group?
I could say
Harris.
that I mentioned this yesterday, but I will be working hard in the next 6 months, and anyone that wants to work with me, let's bottle this up from what we've done in the last 2 days and take it into the G20. The context of this originally was thinking about America as the president of the G20 this year. It's a multilateral forum where all the biggest economies are. And so I want to keep thinking about how to push this into that agenda of the G20, which is all around AI and productivity. We need to bring the brains to that. And maybe it's with the US Chamber, maybe it's, so that's what I'm thinking about, how to elevate all of what we've done here and what we've thought about and take it to the world to get the most quick movement and impact.
I was struck by one of the comments Jochen Reiser made yesterday. And basically he was saying, I won't be able to paraphrase it perfectly, but given where we are in Texas, given this great TMC infrastructure, the DPRIT dollars that are coming, we have both extraordinary opportunity and also should feel some sense of accountability to really push this ball down the field. We need to make this work. The time is now. We do have the either threat or opportunity with AI. We are working on the right things with the right people in the right place. And you don't get those kind of opportunities often. And so that left me with both a sense of opportunity and accountability and obligation.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think the moment is now because of so many things aligning already, right? I mean, the deeper, the people, the motivation, and then also the need. And then outside of that, I think one other alignment that we sometimes don't talk about, yesterday we had on our health system panels a bunch of different health systems, and they are aligning and cooperating versus always competing. So we are, I think, in a moment in time where also this place helps, right? I mean, I think Houston and Texas in general helps catalyze more cooperation versus pure competitiveness. And I think that can help deliver solutions that usually are not possible. This is a hard problem. So we do need more cooperation.
Yeah. Systematic change, culture change, working together will be key. Yeah, beautiful. Excellent. Well, one more maybe reminder, as you guys said, on connecting information, there is a QR code where I know you guys are feeding a lot of information and gathering a lot of information in the pamphlet that you guys have. So that is there in case you guys haven't gone out there. That'll be a key place to spread more information. But with that, do you want to close us out properly for the day, my friend?
I'm going to close us out by saying a huge thank you to all the participants here, and an even bigger thank you to our teams, Stephanie, your team, UTMB team, David Gao, your team, and Harris, your team. All of us are working on the stage, but these are our colleagues over there and other places. They are doing 3 times the work, So the reason the meeting has been a huge success is really mostly because of them. And so I want to give a big shout out and a thank you to all of them.